get started here shortly. We need to double check and make sure the live is going. Give me 1 second. Microphone check. Check it. Mic check, mic check. I don't look like they're working like that. It's time to roll with it, man. All right, Shalom. First and foremost, we want to give all praises to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, the Kahakadash. We want to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. I want to say Shalom to all the brothers and, of course, the few sisters pursuing this truth in sincerity. All right, may the blessing of election be upon your house. We're entering into a time, man, we're going to have to come up on higher levels of faith. And this particular concept that we're going to have to understand and pass the test, across the finish line of salvation. Okay? One of those concepts that you got to understand is that you're not your body. Okay? You got to understand that this is a loaner. And what do you have to do with something that's loaned out to you? You got to give it back. All right? So I'm going to open up with pull it up here real quick. I'm going to go to 2 Corinthians 5:1. But I'm going to read it in the AMP. I've been reading the AMP. Yeah. It go hard, man. It's 2 Corinthians 5:1. Check it out. It says, for we know that the earthly tent, our physical body, which is our house, is torn down through death. And, to a believer, we understand that death isn't something that's really even real. It's just separation from this loner. All right? Spirits don't die. You're not the flesh suit that you're in. Continuing on, it says, which is our house, is torn down through death. We have a building from God, a house not made with hands, eternal in the heavens. Okay? So at the end of the day, when you look back at all the stories, all the historical accounts of our forefathers, and them exhibiting these extraordinary levels of faith, passing their test, all right, the Lord being with them and delivering them out of impossible situations, they were never attached to the temporary tent. Yahweh Shah wasn't attached to that temporary body. He was fighting to get to the new body. All right? And those that are of the covenant, we're all going to get new bodies. We're all going to get extraterrestrial bodies, man. To where the laws are written within our inward parts and we don't sin, and our existence is going to be different from all the other nations. That's the state that we're going to get to. You understand? All right? Let's back that up. I'm going to go to Daniel 3 real quick. Daniel 3:17. And check out the mindset of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Right? Check out the mindset they had when they were getting ready to be thrown into the fiery furnace for not submitting unto another God. All right, it says, if it be so, our God, whom we serve, is able to deliver us from the burning fiery furnace. But if not, be it known unto thee, O king, that we will not serve thy gods, whether we're delivered out of situations or whether we seemingly perish, standing still for the things of Yahweh Shai. To a real believer, to somebody who understands the big picture, it makes no difference either way. It's of no consequence. Because check it out. Whether you see Jacob's trouble all the way through and you're changed, changed on the way being taken up, or whether you perish and you're raised from the dead, you're still going to be taken up and changed. The end result for somebody that walks the path all the way through, sees it all the way through, is the same. Understanding that, it allows you to move with a confidence that a mortal can't have. You understand? And to understand these topics, you also got to understand how life and death works according to the scriptures, not according to what the world says. But you got to understand, how, what happens to the spirit after you separate from that temporary thing. It allows you to see past carnality. It allows you to see past earthly consequences. To have that mindset that's quoted in the scriptures where it says, fear not the man that's able to destroy the body, but fear him who's able to destroy both soul and body in hell. You got to understand how life and death works. And you're deprived of that within this society, especially our people. They've been deprived of that understanding. Right? They've been given Christianity. They've been given something else. They don't even understand that the kingdom of heaven is going to be established upon the earth. All right? Let's go to 1 Corinthians 6 and 19. I mentioned that the body is a loner, right? And that it's going to be required of the Lord at some point in time. So you could get check it out. When you rent a car, you're going to take care of it. You're going to make sure everything's good with it. But you're not completely invested in it. It's not the end all be all because you know that car needs to be rented. That's our bodies. You understand? We have a permanent vessel that the Lord is going to give us once we pass this test. This is all a test. All right? This is 1 Corinthians 6 and 19 in the AMP. It says, do you not know that your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit who is within you, whom you have received as a gift from God, and that you are not your own property? You were bought with a price. You were actually purchased with the precious blood of Yahweh Mashiach and made his own. So then honor and glorify God with your body. You're a living sacrifice. So now you understand that my whole purpose for being here, my whole purpose for having this loner is to glorify God in this body. It's not for any personal gain. It's not for any vainglory or advancement on this side. I'm solely here to glorify the Lord. So I'm supposed to exemplify righteousness. I'm supposed to be a beacon of light within this kingdom, which is shrouded in darkness. Most people, they don't understand where their value truly stems from. They associate their self-worth with things, status, money, with a man's or just a person in general. Your usefulness, your value stems from your usefulness to the Lord. That's why I always harp on, hey man, you always should give your time to. Your value stems from your usefulness to the Lord. That's it. When a person understands that, things become clear. All the noise, you can see the path clearly. You can make decisions and judgments clearly. All right, let's read that one more time. We're going to read it in the AMP once more. It says, do you know that your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit who is within you, whom you have received as a gift from God, and that you are not your own property? You were bought with a price. You were actually purchased with the precious blood of Yahweh and made his own. So then honor and glorify God with your body. Now, back that up. So, keep this right here. Since I mentioned being a living sacrifice. Romans 12:1. I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service. It's the least you can do, and it's your purpose. You understand? So when you look at counts, like the brothers in Second Maccabees, I like the Second Maccabees 7:14. I like what was stated right there. Actually, let me go get that real quick. Let's go to Second Maccabees 7:14. The Lord put the Spirit on me to constantly be thinking about the mindset that's required to overcome any situation that we encounter. So there's nuances to it. You're gonna have faith, but you also gotta, like the scriptures say, the elect love not their own life unto death. You gotta understand this isn't you. The flesh has this natural urge for self-preservation, and that's why the scriptures they use that parallel of a lamb, because a lamb, if you're about to slaughter a lamb, it won't fight you. The elect are going to be in the spirit of, hey, I'm standing for righteousness. I'm not going to fold on that. Whatever comes from me standing for righteousness, so be it. It takes a different person to have that understanding and to walk in it. So you gotta be giving your time to the Lord. You gotta be reading. You gotta be constantly filtering things through the Spirit, giving your time to the Lord, and the Lord's gonna meet you halfway and work with you to become that individual that you need to be to overcome. And the Lord's gonna be with us. You know, it's like you in the weight room and you're lifting up that bar, you get to that last rep. The Lord's gonna be there if you've been nurturing the faith and you're taking that leap. He's gonna be there to spot you. You understand? Check this out. 2 Maccabees 7:14. All right, it reads, this is when all the brothers, one by one, they were getting tortured and slaughtered by the Greeks. It says, so when he was ready to go to die, he said thus, it is good being put to death by men. Now, I want to be balanced here. The scriptures also say there be some standing here that shall not taste of death. There are going to be some people who see all the destruction, see all the woe, see all the peril, and they're going to be taken up. Okay? There's going to be some people who are beheaded for you know, the righteousness of Yahweh. They also are going to receive the same reward to be changed with the dead, and Yahweh shall be raised up first. They're going to be changed as well and taken up. Understanding these things puts you in a place in the spirit where you can't lose. You see, there's a lot of these other groups, they don't go into these topics, they don't really talk about it. So when they're confronted with it, they haven't ran through these scenarios in their mind and the spirit. They're going to freeze up. When it's time to fight, they're going to fight. You understand? And when I say fight, I mean standing for righteousness. There might be instances where you got to be, you know, the Lord will endow particular brothers, like the scripture say, a standard's going to be lifted up. And that umbrella is a bunch of different things. But I'm saying fight, meaning standing for righteousness. At the end of the day, this isn't a carnal fight, it's a spiritual for us. Okay? The Lord is going to pull down these strongholds for us. He's going to do that. Our job is to cry out. That woman that Deuteronomy 22, it might be 32. But yeah, we're the woman that's crying out against the perpetrator. Right? Majority of the people, they're going to go along and get along because they can't see past their nose, like Apostle Tahar says. They're so attached to this temporary tent. They're so attached to this temporary kingdom and they can't see past it. So a lot of Israelites, yeah, they know they're Israelites, but they're not looking for the kingdom. They're nearsighted. So when it comes time for them to see spiritually, to see past this place, to see past the test, to see past the affliction, to see past Esau, they're not going to be able to do it because they haven't been watered in this. They haven't been watered within this avenue. Okay. So they're going to be like women. They're going to be faithful. That's just what it is. You see? Now, this is 2 Maccabees 7:14. I'm going to read it again from the top. It says, so when he was ready to die, he said thus, it is good being put to death by men, to look for hope from God, to be raised up again by him. Raised up again. We understand that, hey, this devil can't do anything to us unless the Lord sanctions it first. When you go to Job, the left-handed entity, Satan, couldn't do anything to Job until the Lord sanctioned it first. And if the Lord sanctions something, you must be strong enough to lift it. Obviously, you got to lean on him and call on him. But he's putting you through that test because you can pass. Okay, we haven't been doing all this laboring for nothing. And you got to understand it. You got to walk in it with boldness. You see? You see here. To look for hope from God, to be raised up again by him. As for thee, thou shalt have no resurrection to life. Boom. This is an exclusive privilege given to the family of the heavens. To be changed in that fashion to where we have a different existence than a regular mortal. This is something that the Christians want to argue about all the time. All throughout the volume of the book, when you go to the Old Testament, the Apocrypha, or the New Testament, there's all these hints to you that this is an exclusive club. This is a contract between the Most High, His Son, and a people. It's particular people. Not everybody, but they're still caught up on this kingdom. That's why they want to have these carnal arguments. They try to make it like we're just pushing complexion. It's so much bigger than that. It's a bloodline, and it's about a righteous government being set up upon the earth. But you don't hear Christians calling out the evil being done here in this society. They're not standing up against the evil Lord. They're standing up against the prophets. Okay? Now, I also wanted to get the account with Eleazar, because Eleazar, he too was in the spirit of, look, man, I'm not attached to this temporary tent. I'm not going to shame the Lord. I'm not going to cause the people, to go against Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Yeah, it's stink though. It's like they're essentially. It's all good though. Now you go. Let me get this precept with Eleazar. Yeah, 2nd Maccabees. Yeah. So he went to the tournament. I can't remember how it works. Oh, you come over here, bro.
Okay, yeah, I got you, bro.
I thought it was 6'2". That's why I'm sitting there like, what? I'm just gonna type in Eleazar, man. Yeah, but the rite of passage to that extraterrestrial body is exclusively with the family of the heavens, with the Israelites. You got it? Okay, cool. When you go to 1 John, what is that, 3 and 2, it talks about us being like him. It says when we sin, we should be like him, and he's in his heavenly body because he overcame death. We too gonna walk down that path. It may not be to the extent of his, it's gonna vary from brother to brother. But right now is the grace period to be watering that seed of faith within you so that you can pass your test when it comes. You understand? Okay.
Second Maccabees chapter 6 and verse 18, it says, Eleazar, one of the principal scribes, an aged man and of well-favored countenance, was constrained to open his mouth and to eat swine's flesh.
Yeah, so this was a man who had a reputation about being about the Lord's business, having integrity. Okay? You have men who are highly esteemed, so to speak, within Israel, who are over congregations, who they're going to be put in likewise situations, and they're going to fold. When you look at General Yohana in 2020, he told his congregation to take the hokey pokey in the green tree. Things weren't really, life or death at that point in time in 2020. It was in the green tree he folded and said some bullshit. So how much more so, the leaders of these other groups, because the Lord's going to make it evident that there's one particular subset of men that have the full understanding. The Lord had his camp, they had the full understanding for that time, right? To finish their course. Everybody else, they didn't have it. the Lord's gonna make it evident in our time, man. He's doing it slowly but surely, one by one of these groups, man. You got it, bro.
All right, verse 19 it says, but he choosing rather to die gloriously than to live stained with such an abomination.
He choosing rather to die gloriously. For a man to move in that understanding, he has to understand that this is a temporary pit that he's in. He has to understand that that's not a final thing. Our forefathers, time and time again, weren't afraid of death. It wasn't real to them. They knew it wasn't real. You have to have that understanding in this time, because if you don't, you're not going to be able to move in the faith that the Lord requires for you to move in. The wisdom and knowledge of this understanding and how things work is going to allow you to be stable as things begin to get hectic.
Verse 20. Let's lock it. Verse 19 it says, but he choosing rather to die gloriously than to live stained with such an abomination, spit it forth and came of his own accord to the torment.
Came of his own accord to the torment. You see this recurring theme? None of our forefathers were in that shaky spirit, man. The elect in our time, they're going to have the same mindset. So you got to ask yourself, well, damn, how do I get there? Right? Blessed is he that readeth, be doers of the word and not hearers only. As you're doing these things and the Lord gives you your little trials, each time you pass a little test, your faith is boosted up. Be able to endure bigger tests. So it's a journey. But it's a lot of people, they haven't even been focusing on that part of it. It's a lot of people, Elder Benazir talk about this lessons every day of somebody saying, well, I'm no longer a Hebrew Israelite. They had an opportunity for their faith to be built up and they failed. You get to see it every week, every day. Understand when things are happening to you every day, that the Lord is orchestrating and sanctioning the things that happen. When you understand that, you begin to judge and move differently.
Verse 20, it says, as it behooved them to come that are resolved to stand out against such things as are not lawful for love of life to be tasted. It says, verse 21, but they that had the charge of that wicked beast, for the old acquaintances they had with the man, taking him aside, besought him to bring flesh of his own provision, such as was lawful for him to use, and to make as if he did eat of the flesh taken from the sacrifice commanded by the king.
The Lord is going to lay the choices of life and death before you always, and He's going to leave an avenue for you to sidestep the responsibility that you're supposed to uphold. Especially the wicked. That's what that chip is going to be all about. People are going to, yeah, you got it? Yeah. People are going to be put in situations where it's like, damn, it seemingly looks with the eyes on their face that there's no escape from the situation.
Right.
And this devil's going to step in and say, oh, I got a way. And because people are carnal and they don't understand how the Lord works, they don't understand prophecy, they're going to fold during that time. Don't be that guy. Get while the getting's good. You got it.
This is Revelation chapter 3 and verse 10. It says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. And just like we're going into a second Maccabees, this was a time of testing, man. You see, there's all the examples when you read through the scriptures, man. You know what I'm saying? As far like the scriptures say, for our learning, man. And these are stuff that we should take from seeing that we're getting ready to face a time like never before. We about to be faced with that choice of either you gonna bow the knee and receive this charagma, or you gonna die for the Lord, man. See, that's coming. This is what Eleazar was reading about in 2 Maccabees chapter 6. This is what he's faced with, man. Because you got to remember, when you read in Maccabees, what was happening. You had King Antiochus put that decree and try to conform everybody into the Greek way, man. You see, it was a lot of our people. We would have started up in that chapter, bro.
Going to the Hellenization of our people.
He was killing pregnant women for circumcising his son. They said it was he put that in. Can I?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. It was illegal for a man to even profess himself to be.
Yeah, that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
This is 2 Maccabees. I'm gonna start at the top, verse 1. It says, not long after this, the king set the old man of Athens to compel the Jews to depart from the laws of their fathers, not to live after the law of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. It says to pollute also the temple in Jerusalem and to call it the temple of Jupiter Olympus. It says that the Gerizim of Jupiter, the defender of strangers, as they did desire that dwelled in that place. That when you actually do the research, a lot of that Hellenization, a lot of that shit was pushed on our people by Jake. Yeah. See, you had that one priest named Jason who basically bought his way into the priesthood, man. You see, he came to the king and offered the king, told the king he would give him some money, you know what I'm saying, and just to put him in the priesthood. He bought his way into the priesthood, and he was what we read about in First Maccabees, where it talks about many of the wicked who persuaded our people. Yeah. You know what I'm saying, to conform unto their way. There was a lot of that shit was happening. Our people was compelling the Jakes to do that shit. Yeah.
Now, who would those be today?
Right.
Your celebrities, your rappers, your entertainers, your athletes. Right. They can compel our people to blatantly go against the Lord's standard. And then just on the side note, yeah.
So like, I mean, like you were saying, the ISUPK, yep. You even had IUIC at one point telling their congregation to take the jab, and that was just a test. That was a shock, man. The most I sent a little shocker out. You know what I'm saying? And you niggas failed the test, bro. You know, it wasn't like your ass was about to get put to death or some shit, man. It was a fucking job. You niggas folded, man. You could have easily went and got another job, bro. Yeah. You had brothers that faced with their choice and did that, man. Right. And some brothers who kept the face, you know what I'm saying, didn't even have to take the job and kept their job. While all them niggas at their jobs when they took the poke, man.
And now they part dinosaurs.
Right. Niggas dead. You know, niggas might not even be on earth no
blood clots, all kind of shit. But you gotta ask yourself, why is it the enemy's goal always to get us to leave from the ways of our Father? You gotta remember, these other nations, man, they got the records of dealing with our forefathers. When we were close to our power and they went to battle with us, you know what happened? The chariot would go before us and fight for us. When we were gravely outnumbered, and we would come out on top. So the nations, they understand that in order for them to keep the people on this side disadvantaged, disenfranchised, to have rulership over them, that they got to keep them separated from their power. That's why this is such a dangerous thing. Because the more now we are to our power, there's a force in the heavens that nobody can fuck with. You see?
This is Judith chapter 5 and verse 17 in the GNT. It says their God hates wickedness, and as long as they do not sin against him, they prosper. It says that when they disobey him, they suffer heavy losses in many wars and were finally taken away as captives to a foreign country. It says the temple of their God was leveled and their cities were occupied by their enemies. But now that they have returned to their God, they have come back home from their countries where they have been scattered. They have again taken possession of the city of Jerusalem, where their temple is, and have resettled in the mountains that have remained uninhabited. It says, sir, if these people are now sinning against their God, even unknowingly, unknowingly. Yeah. Esau said some shit. You put shit out in the food and your damn brush that you brush your hair with. You know what I'm saying? Toothpaste. Our people, and that's why we need the blood of Yahweh shot, man. You see, for you niggas talking about the law. But there's so much shit. This whole fucking place is snares and nets, bro.
It's engineered to separate you from your power.
Right.
Esau ain't just doing that just for shits and giggles. He ain't poisoning everything and putting bullshit in everything just cause he knows that he has to do that to separate these people from their power. Because he can't do nothing with the forces of the heavens.
Right. And then sometimes we do shit that we don't know. That piss the most out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's where Yahweh Shah's blood is so important, bro. You know? Because that covers that. That covers that mistakes that we unknowingly do, man. But going back, it says, sir, if these people are now sinning against their God, even unknowingly, and if we can, it's like I said, and if we can be sure that they are guilty of some offense, we can successfully attack them. But if they have not disobeyed the law of their God, then you should leave them alone, or he will defend them, and you will be disgraced before the whole world. These all know that, man. These nations know that. Like going back to what we read, how that decree was put out to force our people, to try to force our people to go out. Because Esau knows that, and that's why we at the bottom right now, man. Of course, we went out, you know what I'm saying, we disobeyed the covenant that we made with the Lord. But also Esau, like the brother said, Esau sent some shit to where our people go out constantly, not even know it. Put shit in the food, They don't even say that it got pork in it, but he disguised it as another fucking word, man.
It's gelatin,
Right, or some shit, right? You know?
Yeah.
And then you think that you eating something, you try to avoid it. And that's why we at the end of the day we need grace, bro. We need mercy. You see? Yeah. And Esau knows that if he can keep our people in that state, you know what I'm saying, that they win it. You see? Yeah. That's why when you read in Revelation, reading in Revelation 11, it talks about how, you know what I'm saying, those dead bodies was laying in the city of the streets of that great city, and how these nations sends gift one to another, man. You see why? Because our people had went off and they had power over us then.
Yeah.
See?
They still send gifts. They still ship us back and forth. Bro, trafficking is a billion-dollar industry. There's a lot of our people that still pop up missing, that's being sent back and forth. They still having their way. The curses are still on our people heavy. It may not be traditionally what you might think. You know, when you read every curse, it might be done a different way now, but they're still heavy on our people, man. We still need that deliverance. You go back to Eleazar.
Yeah. Well, going back to 2 Maccabees, can we be done with it?
Come on.
2 Maccabees 6 in verse 3, it says, "The coming in of the mischief was sore and grievous to the people, for the temple was filled with riot and reveling by the Gentiles, who dallied with harlots and had to do with women within the circuit of the holy places, and besides that, brought things that were not lawful. The altar also was filled with profane things which the law forbiddeth. It says, neither was it lawful for a man to keep the Sabbath or the ancient feast, or to profess himself at all to be a Jew."
That's why when any Israelite, especially with a platform here on this side that has reach, if he even mentions that he's an Israelite, the whole world got to stop and he got to apologize. He got to say that's bullshit. Kanye West, that nigga's a hoe, all right? He went and apologized to that small hand recently. That might not even be him. Kyrie, he tweeted he made a tweet, the whole world stopped. He had to apologize. Why? You got to ask yourself, why is that such a big deal? Isn't there things more important going on? No. This is the most important thing on earth. The struggle, the struggle going on right here is between Jacob and Esau, even up to this day. You see, you got it.
So Rock 13 and 3 in the GMT, it says if a rich person wrongs someone, he can afford to add insult to injury. But if a poor person is wronged, he is forced to apologize for himself.
Ooh, and the nation of Israel as a whole is poor. Now, a nigga thinks Kanye is broke. Right. Compared to the people in power, yes, he is. He doesn't have control over infrastructure. They shut his accounts down. He's a peon to those people.
Right, and ultimately, what did it say in Revelation? Though you got all these things, you were still poor, you were rich. You know what I'm saying? Why? Because you don't have this knowledge, man. See, this nigga don't. So, in a sense, like you said, Kanye is still considered amongst the poor. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, like you said, man,
carnally and spiritually.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, both ways.
Right. That's why, you know what I mean. So that's why they forced to apologize. Like you said, Nick Cannon got to go to the Carson Museum. Yeah. You know what I mean? He got to walk with them with the cameras and shit.
He got to go on the field trip.
Right. Big ass nigga, grown ass nigga got to go on the field trip. You know, and then agree with these niggas, and they know it's bullshit.
They know it's bullshit.
You know,
they gotta bow down. They gotta kiss the ring. But you know why they do that? Because they really have an affinity for this life. They're attached to this temporary tent that we're talking about. You gotta go.
All right, going back to 2 Maccabees chapter 6. Now I'm gonna jump back down, bro. To verse.
Excuse me, gentlemen.
To verse 22. It says. Now I'm gonna start at 21. It says, but they that had charge of that wicked beast, for the old acquaintance they had with the man, taking him aside, besought him to bring flesh of his own provision, such as was lawful for him to use, and make it as if he did eat of the flesh taken from the sacrifices commanded by the king.
Hey man, you don't really gotta go against the Lord, but make it look like you did, which is really sorcery, which they do here in this time on a high level anyway. They put out all these images in front of you of the rappers and the athletes and a certain way to be. Man, the dude Future, all his songs are about drugs. He don't even do them. But they put that sorcery out there for the masses to eat it up. Eleazar understood that would cause his people to sin. But you think the people that you look up to in today's time, you think they give a damn? No. They're attached to the gifts. Like the scriptures say, a gift destroys the heart. You understand? These people, they don't care about righteousness. They don't fear the Lord. They're occupied with fulfilling the desires of their own flesh. You can't be that way and receive salvation. You see? That was it on that?
No.
Okay, I got precept after you got it.
You want to get yours first?
This one's kind of gonna pivot a little bit, but but yeah, go ahead.
Okay. This is back in 2 Maccabees chapter 6 and verse 22. It says that in so doing he might be delivered from death, and for the old friendship of them find favor. But he began.
You got it.
Verse 23. But he began to consider this discreetly, and as become his age, and the excellency of his ancient years, and the honor of his great head, whereunto he was come, in his most honest education from a child, or rather the holy law made and given by the Most High. Therefore he answered accordingly, and willed them straightway to send him to the grave.
Woo. So check it out. His allegiance to the Lord far exceeded his allegiance to friends and relationships or acquaintances that he had. Okay, that's what the scriptures are talking about when it says, "He that hateth not his father or mother more than me is not worthy." That's a perfect example of what that's going into.
Man, he was given a choice to compromise. You see, like that. Oh well, you don't actually gotta eat the meat.
Really
just bring some turkey,
bring some chicken.
Yeah, right.
I know you like chicken, don't you?
Right. Yeah, bring some chicken or some turkey.
Well, whatever.
Right. And make it look like you eating from the sacrifice. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna set it right here by it. You act like you pulling from it. So he was given a choice to compromise, man. You see, but true man of the Lord won't compromise in the face of death, man. You see?
That's what Mayweather did some weeks ago.
Right, yeah.
When he went up there, I put a short up.
Yeah,
he was like, when Israel doesn't have a voice, I'm always going to stand behind. Nigga, you
Right.
Great man and always wise, bro. But Eleazar was truly a great man.
Right.
Because he had integrity. You see? You got it, bro.
It's Philippians chapter 1 and verse 29.
Hey, if you got
I'm gonna start at 28.
If you got something to hop in, man. You got to pass the ball.
Right. Yeah, I don't want to do it. Yeah. Philippians chapter 1 and verse 28, it says, "And in nothing terrified by your adversary, which is to them an evident token of perdition, but to you salvation that is of the Most High." It says, "For unto you it is given in the behalf of Mashiach, not only to believe on him, but also to suffer for his sake." You see? And that's exactly what this thing is about, man. If you truly falling after your house, you're going to suffer. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, don't be terrified, man. Don't be terrified of these niggas, man. See, like your house said himself, fear not that he kills the body, but fear him that he kills the body and soul in hell, man. See, and a lot of these congregations are not teaching or preparing the minds of their congregation for this, man. To have that type of mindset when they face when your food being taken away, when your house, when you being kicked out of your house. They talked about in 2 Andrew 16, they're gonna be cast out of their house and they're gonna take away their goods. Esau gonna be like a madman sparing none. Yeah. These congregations are not preparing their minds. These leaders are not preparing their congregation for that.
Yeah. With a lot of these congregations, it's really just the Baptist church with an Israelite twist. It's still centered around prosperity here on this side. We're not going to be prosperous here on this side. This whole society is going to go down. It's going to be destroyed. And we're going to be in the midst of it while it's being destroyed. Which means we're going to also suffer straight things. So because, like the brother said, when they're not being prepared for that, they're going to fold. They're still attached to this life. They're still attached to possessions. They still are possessed by their possessions. You got to really love not your own life unto death, man. That's the only way you make it out of here. You see? But, again, when you understand that this is a loner, this is a temporary tent that your spirit is dwelling in, you're able to start to take those kind of steps. I'm going to read a precept for you. I know you got one too. This is 1 Corinthians 15 and 51, but in the AMP, check it out. It says, "Listen very carefully. I tell you a mystery, a secret truth decreed by God and previously hidden but now revealed. We will not all sleep in death, but we will all be completely changed, wondrously transformed. In a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the sound of the last trumpet call, for a trumpet will sound, and the dead who believe in the Mashiach will be raised imperishable, and we will be completely changed, wondrously transformed. For this perishable part of us, the flesh, this existence, all right, again, the family of the heavens, we're not going to have a regular mortal experience once the Lord returns. Continuing on, for this perishable part of us must put on the imperishable nature, and this mortal part of us that is capable of dying must put on immortality, which is freedom from death. That's what we're longing for. That's what's waiting for us in the new heavens and the new earth where we're dwelling righteousness. All right? The majority of the people who know the Israelites, this isn't being pushed to them. This big picture thought process isn't being given to them. So when the big test comes, they're going to fail big. You see? You got it, bro. Like Pegasus saying. Damn, that nigga through, man.
Right.
You got it.
At 2nd Ezra chapter 14, in verse 13, it says, Now therefore set thine house in order, and reprove thy people, comfort such of them as be in trouble, and now renounce corruption. Let go from thee mortal thoughts, cast away the burdens of men, put off the weak nature.
So the scripture's talking about mastering yourself. You can't be put in a position to rule before you master yourself. You know the shit that you got going on. You know the things that you need to change and cut off. You know the things that have a pull on you. You need to master those things, especially in the days to come. Because this enemy, you got this phone in your pocket, he's watching everything you do. He know your habits. He know what you give your time to. When he want to get at brothers, he gonna use the things that pull you to get at you, man.
Right.
You need to learn how to rule it now and quick. Sometimes you gotta fast from particular things. Sometimes you just gotta stop stuff cold turkey, man.
Right.
Like it may not be wicked, but it's like this ain't good for me.
That's what that squeeze is gonna be about. That's why Esau is getting ready to squeeze these people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And the thing, that's why everybody's gonna be willing. All these people are gonna be willing to conform unto Esau's ways. You know what I'm saying? Because they haven't been this great spirit that they had. They haven't. The Lord wasn't in their thoughts. They were just about fulfilling the lust of their flesh and forwarding themselves in this society. When Esau started to take that shit away, you know what I'm saying? And they not refraining from shit. You know what I'm saying? They gonna want it. I want it back. I want it. And they gonna look at Esau as the only way to get that back.
They're gonna be looking like a crackhead. Esau the dope dealer, man. They gonna run to the dealer for their dope, for their fix.
Right.
What's that movie with Chris Rock? He was a crackhead.
Talking about
New Jack. Is that New Jack City?
Nah. Yeah.
New Jack City. Go look up Chris Rock and New Jack. That's most people, man. If you were to take away the things they use to soothe themselves, that's the kind of urge and the lengths they'll go to get their fix. But when you start to pursue the Lord, your fix becomes righteousness. The fix becomes going to Him. If your default mechanism when you put in a tight spot isn't turning to the Lord, you're gonna lose this fight.
Right.
If your natural response to adversity isn't to turn to the Lord by now, you're gonna lose. That's I don't want to discourage anybody, but that should be a part of your default mechanism when you're confronted with adversity. You got it.
This is 2 Corinthians chapter 5 and verse 17. It says, Therefore, if any man be in Hamashiach, he's a new creature. Old things are passed away. Behold, all things are become new. Right? You just brought out pretty much put away from the mortal thoughts and put on immortal thoughts. Roughly paraphrase, right? Because when you come into the truth, it requires pretty much you to change completely.
Correct.
As it said, man, the old creature passed away, which is that nigga that's in the world, and all things become new. That new creature that's after Yahweh Shem Shah. Right? Because as the brother was going into, man, if you ain't coming into, the times that we coming into with a different level of thinking pretty much of as an immortal, right? Thinking like, okay, like the brother said, going to Yahweh Shem Shah for everything as the first thought, right? Then you're already lost. Right? Because majority of people, it's easy for them to say, oh, I ain't going to take the MOTB right now, right? Or I ain't going to do this right now. Yeah, because you go to the store and get the shit you need. Yeah. But what about when, when they cut it off and you can't do nothing until you get it. A couple days go by, a week go by, family crying to you, stomach growling, wondering what's going on. Right? You go, as the brother said, man, you're gonna go right back to Esau, right? Because you don't believe in Yahweh Shai because you wasn't training up and to trust Yahweh Shai that day. Right? Which is something that the elect they're doing on a day-to-day basis. Continually praying to the Lord to give them their daily bread because they understand all things come from the Lord.
Right. I got a precept from you real quick. This prophecy 144, he puts up Isaiah 31:1. Woe to them that go down to Egypt for help and stay on horses and trust in chariots, because they are many, and in horsemen because they are very strong, but they look not unto the Holy One of Israel, neither seek the Lord.
Exactly. Woe unto them that go into Egypt for him. Right? Ultimately, this is the new, this is spiritual Egypt right here, man. Right? So you going down into Egypt, you trusting into the white man by taking that MOTB for him to feed you. Right? Not realizing that it came from the Lord and not trusting in Yahweh Shai who within that. Right? But as you was going into, man, how like, you know, other camps, man, they're not preparing these people for what's to come. If anything, they're in that Psalm 49 spirit. They're in the spirit of pretty much these Edomites, thinking that this place is going to go on forever. Right? When that's the totally opposite spirit you're supposed to be in. Right? You're supposed to, what? Micah 2:10, arise ye depart, for this is not your rest. Where it's polluted, it will destroy you. Right? So this place is polluted. If you get all up into it, man, it's going to destroy you, man. Right? Of course, it's not going to seem like that right now, but just wait until later. Right? Y'all laughing now, but guess what? Y'all going to be crying later. Y'all going to be full of regret of like, damn, I should have listened. I should have turned to the Lord. I should have took it serious. Right? Instead of, you know, just pretty much bullshit, just living on day by day on autopilot. That's what everybody's doing, just going on autopilot shit. And hopefully, you know, tomorrow will be good. Hopefully next year is good. Right? Hopefully, you know, I can get something for my kids this Christmas or whatnot.
They're not intentional with their time.
Yeah, that's all
No, make it go.
I was going to read First Maccabees 2, but that's going to be like a little thing. So.
Okay, go ahead. It's 1 Timothy chapter 6 and verse 6. It says, but godliness with contentment is great gain. It says, verse 7, when we brought nothing into this world, we can certainly, it's like it says, and it's certainly sluggy. We can carry nothing out.
That makes okay. I brought up the analogy, but I think before you walked up, this body, this whole life is like you rented a car. You're gonna take care of it. You're gonna do right by it. All right? But you know at some point you gotta what? Give it back. It's not yours. So this we're using this while we have it. And while we have this temporary loan, man, we ought to be living sacrifices, like he talks about in Romans 12. They ain't using this loaner that the Lord gave them to be a living sacrifice. They're not using this loaner to be useful to the Lord. They're using it to do what they want to do. So again, when it's time for them to give everything back, because we're gonna have to be like, Lord, you got the wheel at the end of the day. They're not gonna be in the spirit to be able to do that because they don't understand this concept. You got it.
I'm going to read it again. 1 Timothy chapter 6 and verse 6, and I'm going to read the NLT. It says, yet true godliness with contentment is itself great wealth. After all, we brought nothing with us when we came into the world, and we can't take anything with us when we leave it. So if we have enough food and clothing, let us be content. And that's one of the points I want to get, bro. Because a lot of people are not content with what they do, like the brother, like we said earlier. Daily bread, man. That's not enough for a nigga. Just look at our forefathers in the wilderness, man. You see, it wasn't enough for them. They constantly complained. And when you read about it, the manna, you know what I'm saying? It said it tasted like whatever you wanted it to taste like, it tasted. And that's what it tastes like, man.
You want a sirloin steak every day?
Right. You know what I'm saying? Then the Lord gave them niggas meat to the point to where I forgot where in the scripture said the Lord made the niggas eat so much swear this shit don't come out their damn nose, man. You know what I'm saying? Well, you know, it's a what they call it, like an idiom or something like that. Like I said, like you ate so much, I ate so much, come on, type shit.
Yeah, your people say, goddamn, you gonna turn into a chicken.
Right.
You eat so much chicken, you gonna turn into one.
Right, you know what I'm saying? And Jake, and
A parable, like
and that pissed the Lord off, man. You know what I'm saying? That constantly pissing the Lord off. That's what Paul said. Hey, that's why he reminded you about time, our forefathers' time in the wilderness, man. He told us not to be hard-hearted like them, man. You see, because a lot of our people, bro. That's why I say they have received blessings, or they have received benefits that have not known me. The Lord give these niggas like trinkets and money and wealth, but the niggas still don't. Bro, these people don't give a damn about the Lord, man. You see it, even what little that you have, you think these people are thankful for it, man? No, these people ain't thankful about shit, man. You know? And that's why coming into the times that we're coming into, that's why you need to have in your mind now, whatever the Lord bless you with is what he wants you to have. Be content with it, bro.
Yeah.
You know?
Bro, it's certain things that you don't need to have because it'll destroy you. Jake don't think like that, though.
No, yo.
There's certain things that the Lord don't even let you have because you're not in a place where you can have it. You're not in a place to where you could still keep the main thing, and have those things. Some brothers don't need to have a chain of business because they wouldn't give the time that's required of the Lord to him. They'll be giving it to their damn business.
Right.
Some brothers don't need a bunch of women because you wouldn't be doing the lessons and the reading and the studying you need to be doing. You'll be all up her ass. On money. Various things. There's certain positions or situations that you necessarily don't need because you won't be able to be the individual the Lord needs you to be for the test, for the mission.
Right. Going back a little more. 1 Timothy 6 and 7 in the NLT, it says, after all, we brought nothing with us when we came into this world, and we can't take anything with us when we leave it. So if we have enough food and clothing, let us be content. But people who long to be rich fall into temptation and are trapped by many foolish and harmful desires that plunge them into ruin and destruction.
That's the majority of people that you see. Even the little children. You ask a lot of these kids what they want to be. They want to be a streamer. They want to do something that involves them being known and having things. It's all attached to mammon. They're indirectly worshiping mammon. That's why that's why grown damn women and men set their phone up and start doing all kind of weird shit in front of a camera because they want to be fucking famous. They don't care where they at. Women will cut the damn camera on and show themselves doing little acts because they want to be famous and have access to money. Right. So that they fall into these hurtful lusts, these things that are blatantly against the Lord's decrees, all for the sake of having something in this world, a world that's temporary, that's about to be turned down. So they've invested in something that's about to be completely eviscerated and destroyed. So what's going to happen to them? They're going to be eviscerated and destroyed with it.
Verse 10, for the love of money is the root of all kinds of evil. And some people craving money have wandered from the true faith and pierced themselves with many sorrows. And you got a lot of these Israelite camps like this. You watch that video of Nate first, you know what I'm saying? He breaking down the name of the Lord. Bro, he was going in. You know what I'm saying? He was going in, bro. It's like, he was on it. Yeah. But somewhere down the line, his mindset changed. Now it wasn't on the mission. Yeah. See, it was on what? Furthering himself, man. You see? Getting money. You know what I'm saying? And that became a trap. You know? That's why money very from. Yeah, you gotta go. You got it. Now money, you know what I'm saying? Money is like I said, man, love of money. Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with having money. The scriptures say money is a defense, man. You see? If you use it right with wisdom, man. You see, but if you love it, that means, you know what I'm saying? Like how was I saying, where your heart is, where your treasures are, that's where your heart shall be also, man. If your mind is on, like a nigga you see on Facebook, and a nigga, every damn that person, family members. Yeah, I wake up in the morning, the first thing on my mind is money. I'm getting to the money. Nigga ain't thought nothing about the Lord, man.
Lord.
Yeah, so it made me think about, talking about the other group, it made me think about Ecclesiastes 7 and 7. How those to give destroyed the heart. Because ultimately, you know, we believe that, you know, they on the 501c3 charter, right? Which is something that's from Esau. All right, nigga, I'm gonna give you some taxes to them, and I'm gonna give you even more money if you do this, that. Yeah. Right? You just can't come against it.
Right.
For real. Got a little bit of taste of it, gone.
Right.
Because that's all it be taking for Jake. You don't really even be taking much for Jake. Right. Give Jake a couple $1 million. Right? They're gonna be like, shit, hey, yes, I'll do whatever the fuck you want.
give a nigga $2,000. That nigga's about to do that.
Bro.
Trump talking about it. We're gonna give everybody $2,000 to tariffs. You don't like the tariffs, you're an idiot. You know, it's for the people who made our country great and rich. Just like we did with the stimulus checks, man.
Yeah.
You niggas was mad as fuck. So they niggas, yeah, you $1,500 to shut you niggas up. And niggas shut up, bro.
Yeah, he gave you niggas hush money. And y'all hush.
Hey, you can buy a nigga cheap, man.
Yeah.
You see? Look what Judas did, man. You see, when you actually look up the equivalent of the money in these times, I think it said it was about $250 to $300 what he sold the Lord out for, man.
Bro.
You can buy a nigga cheap, man. You know? Yeah, look at it, bro. It'll tell you.
On replay.
Right.
That's horrible. But that's most people, man. Hey, bro. A lot of these women, man, they tell you they price up. I need this done. I need this done. You need to take you here. You know, say you want to take her out to eat and get her hair and nails done. Say it come up to like $600-700. They'll open up their womb to you. Think about that.
Right.
The equivalent of their womb is to put somebody else's hair on their head. Look, you say it like that, every dollar, you're like, yeah, this bitch tripping.
Right.
These bitches are tripping.
Right.
These people are tripping in general. You know, these niggas addicted to all kind of shit. You get a nigga a bag of weed, you get one of these little kids, and
Right.
you know, I get you the new game system. These some little kids in South Dallas that'll go kill somebody for you.
Right.
Think about, you said you could buy a nigga cheap. Think about the shit our people are with, the lengths they're willing to go to for nothing.
Right.
They got 2/3 of our people. They don't feel bad for these people when the Lord kill them. They gotta be killed. They should be. Because let me tell you something. You look at these most of these people walking around. Most of them are always just regular people walking around. These people are complicit in the evil. They know the bullshit that's going on around them is off. But if you gave them a gift, they'll turn a blind eye to it. So they're not regular people. They're accomplices to Esau Edom. So when the Lord starts killing them, don't look at them like regular people. They're accomplices to the evil. You know, don't bug out when the Lord starts judging people, man, because He's about to start doing it, man. You like it, bro?
Yeah, because, you know, scriptures goes into like 1 John 2nd chapter. You know, love not the world, neither things in the world. Because if you love the world, the love of the Father is not in you, right? And majority of people they love this place, right? We know what James 4:4 say. You know, if you love the world, you're an enmity with Yahweh Shem Shah. You're an enemy of the Lord ultimately, right? So because majority of people that love this world anyway, guess what? Their God is going to be, as the brother said earlier, mammon, money, right? Because that's all they ultimately. That's really all they fucking know, man. Get money or die trying, something like that, right? Get money or die trying. That's their motto. Oh yeah. Yeah, get rich or die trying. That's the motto now, right? Working hard as hell, turning themselves down, just all off with the fucking budget, doing scooping low to get the money. That's what. Look at the celebrities, man. And they scoop low to get the money, man. There's a reason why they so damn depressed, man. Right? Because they know what the fuck they did to get that shit.
They think status things is gonna fill that hole that they feel inside, when that hole needs to be filled with spiritual things for you to be whole. So they get all this stuff, and it just never quite fills the hole. Even Will Smith, you know, he said in the interview recently, I watched it. He said there's a point where you get all the money and all the things you want, you pop off, and you're just kind of like, there's nothing I want that could satisfy me. And you say you feel empty and lost. There's money can be an offense, like you said, but it's not going to heal you.
Right.
The healing comes from the word. You got it, bro.
It's a Rock 27 and 1 in the GMT. It says many people have sinned while looking for a prophet like money. It says if you want to be rich, you have to keep blinders on your eyes.
Ooh, you got to turn a blind eye to the evil. Like I mentioned earlier, these people aren't regular people. These people are accomplices to the wickedness that's going on, willingly. So when the Lord starts judging them, oh, what are them babies over there? When they had the zip ties on the baby in Chicago, it's like, damn, they had the zip ties on the babies. But at the same time, it's kind of like, it's niggas.
Right.
I don't really have too much sympathy for niggas. Now, our people, you know, they're going to be fine in the end. But I do understand that there's a recompense that has to be paid. Majority of the spirits you see are the same spirits that said, crucify him, that was murmuring in the wilderness, that was putting the prophets to death. So you look at people sometimes, you're like, oh, okay, this is Jake cool. But you don't know what he did in his past lives. You don't know what lengths he's willing to go to be comfortable. Right? These people aren't normal. There's really no such thing.
Yeah, because everybody walking around here, man. You know, you can be working with a little serial killer at your job. You would never know it. Have a good ass conversation, everything, cheesing in your face, right?
You texting a nigga woman at your job. Oh, Keisha, man, she cool, man. Keisha let her pit bull lick her coochie when she go home.
Yeah, weird shit.
Weird bitch. Keisha fucking on her gay friends. Keisha shoplifting. You know what I mean? Keisha ain't cool. She's bearable. That's it. It's bearable people. But most of these people, man, they're complicit to evil, man. They're really down for whatever.
Right. They're willing to sell out and kill. Like we see within the music industry, man.
Yeah.
These sacrifices and shit that these people make, this is what they're willing to do for money. What they're willing to do for Esau's wealth in this side, man. And the average nigga is looking for the opportunity, man. You see? All a nigga want to be is a rapper or an NBA star any fucking way.
Forward.
You see? Niggas don't see nothing outside of that, man. You know?
Nigga spread his booty cheeks to be on the XXL cover.
Right.
That fluff.
Right.
Casting couch, man. That shit real, man. That ain't no joke. That ain't something people just a conspiracy theory that people just make videos about. No, this shit is actually happening, man. Actual sacrifices are going out. People are selling their soul, meaning willing to do it. They ain't talking about their actual soul, but they're willing to base themselves, man. Willing to do lewd acts in order to receive a reward from it, man.
They're willing to become an agent of the wicked,
right?
In order to have something, to the point to where there's really no return for them. You know, there's a lot of people that have done some sick shit to where they even thought about standing for righteousness. They're gonna be outed, and they're not willing. You know what I mean? There's people it's people on video with children, animals. It's people that, you know, have killed loved ones.
Mark chapter 8 and verse 36, it says, "For what shall it profit a man if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul?" Right? Because you gotta understand, man, Esau Edom, man, he got some godlike complex as well. Right? With that being said, man, guess what? Just like we gotta make sacrifices unto Yahweh Shai. Guess what? You're gonna have to make sacrifices unto him. Whether it be your mother, your closest friends, right? Or you gotta be turned out now. Or you got like the brother said, bestiality, just doing any lewd act, because this is the borderline of wicked. The base of all, man, we're dealing with here, man. Right? The borderline of wicked that we're dealing with here. So you gotta expect ultimately the worst from him to sacrifice onto him. Right? Yeah, that's right. Well, I got another one too. This is Jeremiah chapter 2, and verse 33 says, it says, "Why trimmest thou thy ways to seek love? Therefore hast thou also taught the wicked one thy ways." Right? That's the majority of our people, man. They trimming their ways ultimately to seek validation from this devil. Oh man, am I doing good, Master? Are you happy, Master? Like you guys.
You know, you'll make your point, because I did a lesson on this like 2 days ago. I just want to say something to you guys.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you know, Jay, they're trimming their ways for damn devils, right? Sacrificing, yeah, it's for the money, but ultimately, man, Jay, I mean, they see Esau as God, man. Right, you can already tell by when Jay come up here. Oh, what about the white man? Hey, what about the white man? Now, what about Elon or whoever else? It's like, you got it, bro.
You got it.
Nah, I'm good. You got it.
Okay. Yeah. Whoever you seek validation from becomes your God. You see, when you come into this truth, the beautiful realization that you come to, you're endowed with the fear of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. So now you're trying to be validated by the Most High. You want to be seen as good in His eyes. But in the world, whether our people know it or not, the standard they live to is, okay, does the white man see me as somebody of status or somebody that's useful? In this world, regardless of what success level, I'm using air quotes, that you reach, Jake feels that he needs to be validated by the so-called white man. And the white man expects you to look at his validation as a crown. If you walk, when you start to walk in the sense that you don't give a damn about what the white man thinks, what do you call it in society? Proud, arrogant, this guy doesn't know his place, he's distasteful. You get all these terms put on you when you stop seeking the so-called white man's validation. But that's a default mindset that you're going to have when you step into the Lord's way. Because by default, you're seeking the Lord's validation. So you're naturally become an enemy of the world. You start to rub people the wrong way, even though you're not doing nothing to them. The vibration that you're walking in, it just goes against the infrastructure and the status quo and the spirit of this world. When you truly start to serve the Lord, which is how you can pinpoint if somebody's really following the Most High. The scriptures even say, if you're a friend of the world, if you fit the mold of what they deem as acceptable, all right? If the world is justifying you, more than likely, you're not seeking the justification of the Lord. You can't do both. So again, whoever you seek validation from, that's who your God is. See? Beautiful point, bro.
Yeah, because, to add on to that, I was going to get it, but kind of quoted. The scripture goes into how, you can't serve two masters. Whether you'll love the one and hate the other, or hold to one, and you pretty much serve the other, right? So you're by default serving something. You either serving the Lord, or you serving whatever pagan god that you serving. Yeah. Esau, Buddha, whoever the fuck you believe in that you pray to at night and seek, like the brothers going to, seeking validation from.
Even yourself. Some people, some people worship themselves. Yeah. And Romans 1 tell you that they serve the creature more than their creator. You know what I mean? That's why you hear niggas say, "Oh, I'm self-made." What? No, you're not. No, you're not. But that it's just a bunch of bullshit ass philosophies and sayings and mentalities that people have, especially 2/3 of our people. The scriptures say the righteous is more excellent than his neighbor, but the ways of the wicked seduce them. You got it, man.
Galatians 6:14 in the NLT. It says, "As for me, may I never boast about anything except the cross of our Lord Yahushua Mashiach. Because of that cross, my interest in this world has been crucified, and the world's interest in me has also died."
Ooh, speak on that.
Yeah, because hey man, if you truly follow the Lord, your interest in this world, bro, that shit gone, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like real talk, you ain't had your man shit. You are now, we're on the mission. Now you on the true mission.
Yeah.
If you truly follow the Lord, man, all those things that you want to be like brothers from all kinds of brothers say it all the time, bro. Brothers are talented, bros are hella talented, could have been somebody in the truth. You know what I'm saying? Could have been on the fucking TV, on the TV, you watching, whether they're in the game or singing or whatever, man, producing beats, whatever you look at, however you look at it, man, artists, you know what I'm saying? Brothers could have been something in this world, man, but once they heard the voice of Yahushua, man, through the apostles, you see, through the preaching of this gospel, man, the interest that we had in this word, that shit died, man.
Dropped everything.
Yeah.
And that's what I mentioned earlier in 2 Peter 3:13. We seek new heavens and a new earth wherein dwelleth righteousness. you know, you then will come to the realization that this house is set, this kingdom is set for demolition. If something is set for demolition, you don't start buying furniture and trying to renovate it. It's going to be torn down. So you stop being invested in this temporary thing and invested in what's to come, which is eternal.
Right. See, that don't mean, you know, let me say, that don't mean that you just go take, you know, whatever you're interested in, like say music, you just go and you start breaking all your you know, you can split the piano in half, keyboard, fuck this shit.
Some Jake do that when they come to the shit. Some Jake crash out.
No, brothers still do, like, you know what I'm saying? But you know, brothers still, it's balanced, like the brother said, man. You know, brothers still, like, whatever, you know, they interested in, we still do it, but our hearts is not in it. You know what I'm saying? This mission that we sat on is way more important than our, you know what I'm saying, our extracurricular activity.
This becomes chief priority.
Right.
All right? Just like with Eleazar we read earlier. He had acquaintances that was like, hey, bro, just do it. Just make it look like it. His relationship with those people was on the floor beneath his feet compared to his priority of keeping his integrity toward the Lord.
Right.
That's what we're saying. This becomes the number one thing in your life. And nothing is able to get in your way of pursuing the Lord. You're willing to cut anything off if it comes in conflict with your pursuit of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. That's what the brother's saying.
God. It's the 2 Edges 8:1. It says, and he answered me saying, the Most High has made this world for many, and the world to come for few. Right? Because the Lord ultimately, when you come to the truth, you know, he reveals the secrets unto you. Part of the secrets is understanding that there's something better than this place that's coming. That's going to be far better. So the Lord has gifted the elect. They're going to be gifted with foresight to be able to see in the future, seeing past this place. That's why, like, as the brother got in Galatians 6, you know, how your cares in this world start to dwindle. Right? Because you be like, damn, like, to be honest, like, all the shit that I'm doing here is like, there ain't going to be no comparison to what the Lord's going to give you. Yeah, literally. No matter how many women I get on this side, how much money I get, how athletic I am, you know, how good looking you possibly can be. It's just not going to match to what the Lord's going to give you. So they're, I lost it. But in other words, they now they got the main thing, which is the truth.
Yeah.
Right? They keeping this the main thing, and everything else is on the back burner.
Like, well, so you mentioned Matthew 6 earlier. In Matthew 6, it talks about obtaining the riches in the kingdom, which moth and rust can't corrupt. All the things the brother mentioned could be, those are corruptible crowns. Okay? You could be an NBA star, and 10 years from now, the next generation ain't gonna know who you is. You know, they gonna go, oh, you old dude, you sorry. You know what I mean? All the legacy you built up could just mean nothing. Russell Westbrook, right? The 2-time MVP, broke all these records. The average young person sees him as like a trash player today.
No.
They don't know, like, damn, this dude is amazing. It's all the corruptible crown. All the women that you can have on this side, somebody else done ran through their box already. You don't got the new car smell. You understand? So it's like you're in this place where everything is tainted. It's corrupted. There's nothing you could obtain here that's pure, but that's going to be eternal. What the Lord has for us is going to be pure and eternal, man, and beyond what we can even think of. You got it.
Yeah, because, you know, God was going to say, you know, Scripture says that the Lord, he goes to prepare a place for his elect. Right? So hey, man, you know, Lord willing, we be part of that, man. We're looking forward to what the Lord preparing for us. Yeah. New bodies, you know, power, being joint heirs, man. And when you could imagine things like that, you know, hey, like it just makes sense to, like, man, fuck all this shit, man. Let me serve the Lord. Yeah. Let me do what I gotta do. Let me suffer what I gotta suffer. And we got countless examples of, like, you know, men that done it already, as well as men that didn't do it. So we got examples of what to do and what not to do. And our biggest example of what to do is Yahushua. Right? And the other examples we got is just, you know, Esau, what he did, sold his birthright and didn't realize he just fucked his ass over. Hell, that was prophesied, but hell, even you know, other people, man. If you think about what Saul, I think it's Saul. Damn, it was King David's. Yeah. House of Saul. I'm tripping. Yeah, it's Saul. I'm praying for it. But yeah, you know, maybe think about Saul, right? Being disobedient to the Lord, and look where that got him. look where
God got us.
Yeah, that
He was supposed to kill Amalek, man. Damn, if Amalek was done away with, bro, they're the source of all the problems in society today. That one act of disobedience spiraled into complete corruption and destruction and tainted the whole earth. That family line wasn't rooted out. So look at all that's going on. Look at all the degeneracy that spread because Saul was disobedient. That one act of disobedience led to all this bullshit. You got it, bro.
One led to another to where it started to spiral. Yeah,
Downhill.
Yeah, downhill effect, man. But I got a point for the brother. I got to appreciate for the brother, man. It's Philippians chapter 3, and I'm gonna read in the NLT in verse 17. Dear brothers and sisters, pattern your lives after mine, and learn from those who follow our example. For I have told you often before, and I say it again, with tears in my eyes, that there are many whose conduct shows that they are really enemies of the cross of the Mashiach. They are headed for destruction. But like the brother said, man, it's really important. Yahushua being an example, you got Israelite groups who are talking about Paul, man. You see, these are the same dudes who say that they believers in Yahweh Shem Yahushua, but you turn down everything that he set up. You see, Paul was a vessel that the Lord used to bring forth the gospel to the Gentiles. And here it is, niggas is talking about Paul ain't got no authority, this and that, and talking shit like you got more authority than Paul, nigga. These niggas need to sit down, man. You see, but it's ultimately making it clear, like, they're really enemies of Yahushua, man. You see? But it's a little bit more, bro. It says, verse 19 in the NLT, they are headed for destruction. Their God is their appetite. They brag about shameful things, and they it's like it says, they think only about this life here on earth.
Exactly. That is majority of people on this side. 2/3 to be specific on this side, man. They only think about this in this world. What can I do in this world? Not the world to come. Right? Not looking up to Yahushua how you're supposed to be, because everybody in that, YOLO, right? You only live once, right? Not even understanding reincarnation or anything. Right. So with them in that mindset, man, he's already did a number on our people, man. Got him wrapped around his finger like that, man.
Right. Who was talking about the kingdom? Who was pushing forth Yahushua? Who was talking about the new bodies, man? Who's setting their minds on things that are in the heaven, man, not on earth?
Yeah.
And then everything, all these things, all these questions I just asked, now compare all the Israelite groups. Which one is doing it?
Who's checking all the boxes?
Right.
And it ain't about the group name and nothing like that.
Right.
It's just about the spirit that these camps are in. They're not in the right spirit, bro. They're not checking all those boxes the brothers just mentioned. So if you're trying to discern where the truth is, just off of that alone, that's an easy method.
Right. Niggas don't even talk about the kingdom. They don't even, that lets you know that bro, every day we think about the kingdom. Every day is something we always think our mind is on the kingdom, man. You see?
The level of peace I experience meditating about the kingdom. Like,
no, real talk.
When you think about the kingdom, like, oh, it's gonna be like, bro, it's like we like kids in the kingdom, like, oh, we get so excited.
Yeah.
You talk about the kingdom, these little groups, man, they light ain't on.
Talking about it.
They don't get them excited, bro. They heart ain't in the right place.
Right.
Wow.
This Philippians 3 and 19 in the NLT, it says they are headed for destruction. Their God is their appetite. They brag about shameful things, and they think only about this life here on earth. But we are citizens of heaven, where our Lord Yahushua HaMashiach lives, and we are eagerly waiting for him to return as our Savior. Nobody is waiting, bro. These other camps are not hastening today, man. These other camps are not worried about Yahushua coming back, bro. You see it on their videos and what they talk about, bro. The only ones who's hastening that day are the apostles, a Great Millstone. Like the brother said, it ain't just Great Millstone. You have other offshoot camps who in the same mindset, pushing the same. At the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? The elect is going to be on one accord. Now, am I saying we are of the elect? No, I'm not saying. That's why we say hopefully.
Yeah, we hope to be a part of that.
Right. You know what I'm saying? But the scriptures say that the elect will be on one accord and have the same mindset and pushing forward the true mission, man, and what this thing is truly about, which is the ushering, which is the preaching of Yahushua, heralding in the King, you see, in the kingdom of heaven being established on the planet Earth, man.
Yeah, they're not in the right spirit. Let me tell you something. And this will help the sisters have some clear understanding too. You know what a wife's job is? A wife's job is to forward the will of her husband. Now the Lord likens the nation of Israel to his woman. Right? So what are the elect of the nation of Israel going to be doing? Forwarding the will of the Father. Now, what is the Father and the Son desire to happen? For the kingdom of heaven to be established upon the earth. Righteousness to be established upon earth. The kingdom of heaven, right? So that's what your mind should be occupied on. And the fact that it's not lets us know you're none of his. You're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. You're not forwarding the will.
Right. That's it. Ephesians chapter 5. Yeah, Ephesians chapter 5 and verse 22. Wives, submit yourselves unto your own husbands as unto the Lord. For the husband is the head of the wife, even as Hamashiach is the head of the church, and he is the savior of the body. Therefore, as the church is subject unto Hamashiach, so let wives be to their husbands in everything.
So if you're looking for direction, that makes it plain for you. Okay? The Son is forwarding the will of the Father. The men of Israel are forwarding the will. We're all doing the same thing technically. All right? It's just a chain of command.
Right.
So the woman, all right, if you're serving the man of the Lord, you're supposed to be forwarding what he's trying to get done. By doing that, you're serving the Lord.
Right.
All right?
And what is that doing? Putting your own interests and how you feel aside.
On the back burner.
Right. We're not asking you to do nothing we ain't doing, man. You know?
You mentioned it earlier. It's brothers that could have done seemingly great things in this world, right? All on the back burner to serve Yahweh Shah. There's nothing that we're asking you to do that we're not doing.
Right.
There's nothing that Yahweh Shah is asking us to do that he didn't do.
Right. Right.
You know what I mean? But you get so simple. But really, that's just a... Let the rough riders pass by. But the rejection of that mentality, it just goes back to that wine from the devil, that philosophy of the devil, man. Women, if you tell them that's their partner, they look at that as a prison. They look at that as being, being made less than. We're doing the same shit you're doing. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? But, again, in the kingdom of heaven, it's all gonna be fixed. You see what I'm saying? When I'm stressed, I'm frustrated about some shit, I snap out of it because I'll be like, fuck shit, we just need the kingdom. That's like the solution to every problem. That's my Usa. Remember that movie with the bad boys too? Yeah, that's our Usa, man. We think about the kingdom. You niggas, y'all find pleasure and comfort in other shit. You got it, I see you over there.
This is Romans chapter 12 and verse 1. It says, I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of the Most High, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto the Most High, which is your reasonable service. Right, so it's a reasonable thing for us to be presenting ourselves as a living sacrifice. And Lord willing, it be accepted. Right? Just like the brother going to you, man, you always got to do the same thing, man. Right? You got to sacrifice like we got to sacrifice. And then you may mention about the prisoner thing. Hell, didn't Apostle Paul say I'm a prisoner? Did he not say that?
Yeah.
So we gonna do the same shit.
We going through the flow. You know the thoughts I have, like, well, I'm tired. It's just kept there, but I'm tired. I'll be thinking, man, the Lord will kill me if I don't go do what I'm supposed to do. You know what I mean? Like, what the hell, no? So we have a standard that we gotta abide by. Our flesh be tired sometimes, but in the spirit, we know our whole purpose for being here. Your whole purpose for being here is to be a helpmate, which by default is still the forwarding of the Lord's mission. All the women that you see online that want to go out there and teach and prophesy, going off, they need to be with a man of the Lord, helping him do those things. He got a lesson together, you help him get it, Oh, here are the precepts you said you wanted. I got them laid out for you. Go do that, bitch.
Or you just take the kids, man.
Don't take the
brothers
kids.
trying to get lesson together with kids now. Take them out the way, man. You know what I'm saying?
Just make the path easy.
Right, exactly.
Make the way straight, like John the Baptist.
Right.
Hey, make the way straight. Goddamn.
Right.
You people, hey man, if you need direction, That's how you should view it. It's really easy. It's quite simple.
I mean, it's
I got
the
it.
name.
You got it. You about to say something good.
Now, I'm about to say it's in the name, you know, woman. You know, even scriptures, man, the man is not of the woman, but the woman is of the man.
Boom.
Right? So y'all are literally created to be a helpmate onto the man for what the brother says, you know, for his will. So whatever his will is, man, you're supposed to be making it as easy as possible for him. Because as the man, we going through most of it. We got to do the teaching. We got to be on the highways and byways. Y'all ain't got to do that. Now, don't get me wrong. I ain't gonna put like ain't gonna shame like y'all ain't got shit. Y'all ain't got to do either.
The role of the woman ain't. We ain't making light of it.
Yeah,
the woman's the first teacher of the children. She's supposed to echo what the father is pushing to the kids. So it's a very necessary cog in the wheel, in the machine. All right, but we just have our different offices, but they all need to be popping on and flowing on full cylinders for the family unit and for righteousness to go forth. Okay. I got some. Now you go to First Maccabees 2. It says something very profound at the end. Because I'm gonna just read verse 50 real quick, man. First Maccabees 2 and 50. And this is in the GNT. It says, "But you, my sons, must be devoted to the law and ready to die to defend God's covenant with our ancestors." Then it goes through all the examples of our forefathers exhibiting divine levels of faith for the Lord's purpose. All right? But at the bottom of listing all those examples, and I'll start at 60. All right? The last example. It says, "Daniel was a man of integrity, and the Lord rescued him from the mouth of lions." Take each of these ancestors of ours as an example, and you will realize that no one that put their trust or faith in the Lord will ever lack strength. And again, these groups, because they don't hit those checkpoints you mentioned, they're not going to be built up in the faith to endure likewise tests like our forefathers did. All right? Who puts trust in the Lord will ever lack strength. Don't be afraid of the threats of a wicked man, Esau. Remember that he will die, and all his splendor will end with worms feeding on his decaying body. Today he may be highly honored, but tomorrow he will disappear. We got foresight. We understand what his end is going to be, what the end result, all right, of all of this is going to be. The Lord returned, the kingdom of heaven being set up, right? Verse 63 again. Today he may be highly honored, but tomorrow he will disappear. His body will return to the earth, and his scheming will come to an end. But you, my sons, be strong and courageous in defending the law, because it is through the law that you will earn great glory. Now, it's through Yahweh Shah. It's something higher than that, right? But during this time, man, you had the Maccabean family, bro, they stood stiffly for the things of the Lord. All right? Those same spirits are going to be back here today in righteousness, standing stiffly for the things of the Lord. They're going to have that mentality, man, that death isn't losing. They're going to have that mentality that nothing takes precedence over the mission, because there's something much greater than what we see that we're fighting for. We're fighting to be the first batch of Israelites ruling on the earth, in the new body, establishing righteousness, being at the forefront of it. All right? That's what this is about, man. This isn't about anything carnal on this side. This isn't about status on this side. All right? This isn't about having a good setup here in Babylon. This is about the kingdom of heaven being established. You see? Yes, sir.
Just further on your point, the brother said, man, like once you come into the truth, that's when you first realize or begin to learn that you're in something bigger than yourself. Because you know, in this world, that's pretty much what you think about. It's all about yourself, man. I got to do this, I got to do that, or how can I make the woman happy? Everything that has nothing ultimately to do with the Lord, and then try to call on the Lord when you get in the gym or some shit. Let alone not even calling on the right name. Pretty much. But once you get into the truth and you learn the true names and you learn what the thing is about, then like, okay, now you realize, right? Well, ultimately you be given hope. And me, you should have peace. But the world, you should have tribulation. About man, we have peace. Knowing that, man, like this ain't the end all be all. and the fact that he's on the way, right? And let alone hell, we were able to keep up with prophecy, right? See what's going on through the scripture, right? And just like follow along. And and all we got to do is ultimately, hey, fear the Lord, right? That's one of the biggest things the Lord loves. He loves somebody that fears him, because if you fear him, it brings all the other good traits.
It's the beginning of wisdom.
Yep, it's the beginning of the wisdom. Sirach, the second chapter, goes into the perks of fearing the Lord. One of them is those that fear the Lord, they're going to hope for good. Why? Because they're doing what's asked of them.
Sorry. Now you got that one?
Man, I can't find it, bro.
It's going to come to you on the way home.
Yeah, I already know.
So just so y'all know, the brother not going to be going live on the way home.
Nah.
You know, so I found that reason on this thing. Hey man, so I'm Ratazar, the lessons edifying. I want to give all praises once more too. Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahushai, by Hashem, Rakakadash, Babylon and stuff, houses and the elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to all the brothers and of course the few sisters pursuing this truth and sincerity. May the blessing of election be upon your house. Shalom. What y'all think, man? It was good?